coming to my final presentation. My name is Luna Walker, and I did a mentorship at Salon Rose over the past few months on cosmetology. My mentor is Miss Jayla. She's sitting right over there. She was amazing. I met her about a year or two ago in the summer. That was my first curly cut ever. Definitely a life-changing experience. I would like to give her a special thanks, as long as Miss Kalia and Miss Tidwell and Miss Zettner, who is my ISM teacher. And Miss Kalia is also one of Miss Jayla's mentors. So just a special thanks to you guys for helping me get where I am and just helping me along the way. So, how did I find Miss Jayla? So, like I said, I went there about a year ago, my first curly cut ever. Growing up in a predominantly white area, everybody had straight hair, nobody looked like me. I felt out of place. It was hard for me to fit in. When I did try and do my hair, it felt like it wasn't me. It felt like I was like pretending, and we tried all these different styles. We tried bantu knots and twist outs and all these different things, but it just never felt right, and I would get made fun of and a bunch of different things. So eventually I just stopped, and I kept my hair straight for the majority of my life. And my sister has curly hair, and she would wear it out throughout her high school years, but we have very different textures. So hers was more like it was very loose and more accepted, whereas mine, it can get pretty wild. It can get big and have a lot of volume, and it has character. And so when I went to Miss Jayla for the first time that summer, that was the first time I had ever worn my curly hair out in public, and I knew it looked good. I felt good. In fact, the like 15 minutes after I got my hair done, we went to a salon, not a salon, a beauty supply store to get all the supplies and everything I needed. As soon as I walked in, the first thing the cashier told me was, "Your hair looks amazing. Wow, it looks so good." And that was the first time that had ever happened to me with my curly hair, except for my mom. And so it was just such a transition in my life. And when I found every year we're supposed to have a mentor, junior and senior year, and I thought, what better place to do my mentor than where I actually learned to love myself and to embrace myself and my curly hair. So that's immediately why I went to her, and I was just like, hey, we had this thing going on at school, and I would love to just watch and hang out with you ladies, and it has been a great experience, all a bunch of big sisters, and I really appreciate all of them. So in my mentorship, it is, since I do not have my cosmetology license, and since I am not currently enrolled in a cosmetology program, it is not very hands-on. So I don't really touch anybody's hair. I don't interact as much with the customers. I have conversation and stuff, but really I just watch and ask questions. And I can't think of a better way to do this. Of course, when I go to cosmetology school, I am gonna be more hands-on, but watching from these ladies and I'm able to watch everybody. So let's say someone was in the corner doing braiding, then I could watch and go do color. Someone's doing a consultation and another is doing flat twists. I could watch everyone and see how they were all doing things differently, or what they did the same, what products they used, how they would interact with customers when maybe something wasn't right or a customer had a complaint, and just see how they were able to manage that and handle that. And that's definite, and each of them did it differently. And so I was able to just absorb all of that information, even though I wasn't as hands-on as some other mentorships might be. I still feel like I've learned everything that I need to learn, and I'm very excited to learn more. So there was a few challenges in this mentorship. One was definitely the commute. I am a relatively new driver, so you know the Houston roads, as you can see in that top corner, they can be very intimidating. They can be incredibly very scary. We have these huge F-150s that bully people off the road.
True.
It's just incredibly intimidating. So to go down here every week and face that by myself, it definitely grew confidence in a lot of ways. And I remember I texted my parents one day. I was like, I came all the way down here without GPS, and that was huge for me because I'm able to know what the exits and where to get off and stuff like that. So it was definitely a challenge in the beginning, but something I can look back on and see that I actually grew from it, and now I'm more confident in my driving and being downtown. Still not good at parallel parking, but we're working on that. And another challenge was being surrounded by people who I feel are super professional. When you go into a trade, when you go into a career that most people consider a trade or maybe just a hobby, it's definitely, there's a little insecurity and a little judgment there. I have an amazing support group with my parents and my friends and my mentor and everyone I've learned there, but it is definitely something that I have to have confidence within myself and just kind of push past that challenge and any other obstacles that might come my way. This is a beautiful picture of me and my family. My oldest sister here, Jamila, she also has she has an own business. She lives in Miami currently. She owns a restaurant, and they used to own a bed and breakfast as well. So she is also someone I look up to and go to for advice, especially as a Black female with her own business and in the business industry. So how has this impacted my future? Up here is everyone I have interacted with over the course of my mentorship. Just a bunch of big sisters, an amazing community. I love everyone there. Before my mentorship, cosmetology was pretty it was an option. Okay, I'm not quite sure what I wanted to do. Let's look at cosmetology and let's see, how we could go from there. Getting into my mentorship and now rounding off and finishing, it's a definite. I definitely want to go into cosmetology. It is what I'm passionate about, what I'm interested in. It's my passion. And so currently I am in the application process of Aveda School of Arts and Sciences and Paul Mitchell. I have toured both of those campuses, and Aveda is definitely my number one, which is in the Woodlands. And just throughout this mentorship, really just seeing everything and everyone. There is someone at Salon Rose who has actually gone to Aveda, and listening to her experiences and hearing everybody else's where they went to school, it has just taught me so much about learning different opinions and appreciating them, and just really growing within myself. So yeah, this has definitely impacted my future and my career very well. For my final product, since this mentorship is not very hands-on, it was definitely hard for me to come up with a product that I felt could benefit myself and people around me. So I wasn't able to come up with something that would actually be able to be used on people's hair, or something that stylists could use, because I don't have that knowledge and information yet. But I do know what I want to do, and I can move forward with that. So for my final product, it is pretty much a business plan. What I plan to do after I graduate from high school with my associates, what I plan to do during my cosmetology career, how I'm going to move forward with that, and how I'm going to increase in the cosmetology field. So as I stated earlier, I am going to cosmetology school. I'm going to start in the summer, around June, right out of graduation. That way I'm able to just kind of make that smooth transition and not really have to worry about like, oh, what am I gonna do over the summer and everything. It's already set in stone and I'm already sticking to a schedule. And for me, that's very important because I definitely need a schedule. If I don't have a schedule, everything falls apart. So I am committed to Aveda, and I am incredibly excited to start my journey there. It's a 9-month program. I've already toured the campus. I've met with a bunch of people there. Everyone was extremely nice. I've talked to admissions. I'm just so excited to start this new opportunity, and in someplace new. We get like, I need a change of environment sometimes. I get bored staying in the same place. So going out, meeting new people, living in a different environment is definitely something I look forward to. And after I finish my program, I plan on obviously making my way up through the industry, starting at a salon, having my own booth, and then my dream is to have my own salon and just overlook everything. And I really want to make the change that Miss Jayla made for me, for other young women and people with curly hair. So having your own business is definitely not easy. There are a lot of things that come with it, especially as an African American and especially as a female. That's a double bias right there. We are automatically put a little lower, which is unfortunate, but it's definitely true. And so I had to do some research on the stats and just things like that. Some things that I definitely need to take into consideration when starting my own business, but also some ways to overcome that. And definitely my support group is a way to start fresh and come out with a good foot in front of me. Also, the fact that I am graduating with my associate's degree puts me ahead of people who maybe are fresh out of high school and are just now going into the field. I could probably get a more sustainable job because of my extra experience. So a lot of research was definitely put into what goes into having your own business. So my mission statement really for my business is to pass it down. My experience at Salon Rose and with Miss Jayla changed my life completely. Last year, my junior year, was my first time wearing my hair curly to school. I wore it curly pretty much all year, and that's huge for me. I used to not go a week without straightening my hair, or it would be in a bun or whatever. And now I'm giving my final presentation with my curly hair, and that's something I would have never ever done. So I really just want to pass that down to other people. I see videos all over social media, people who don't know how to take care of their hair, maybe straight-haired parents and a curly-haired kid, and they're like, where do I start? Like, I don't even know what to do. And to be able to bring someone the comfort of loving themselves the way Miss Jayla has taught me to, the way Salon Rose has taught me to, it's definitely something I want to pass down to other kids, other people, other women, and just give back. This video is This video, I can't get it to play, but it was my first time getting my hair done at the salon. The smile may not look like it on the screen, but that was the biggest smile I had ever had when I got my hair done. I walked out feeling like $1 million. Like, I was ready to get my nails done, I was ready to get my lashes done. I had never felt more beautiful in my own hair, and that was life-changing. It was life-changing, and I want everyone who hasn't had that experience to have it. thank you all for coming to my final presentation. Again, I want to give a special thanks to Miss Jayla and Miss Kalia, Miss Zettner and Miss Tidwell, just for being there with me, helping me. I feel it's only been a few months since, you know, I've been at Salon Rose, but everyone I've met there has just been amazing. Miss Tidwell and I, we have bonded over the past 4 years. She's definitely someone I look up to and feel like I can go to for advice, so I want to say thank you to her. And Ms. Zettner, who is my ISM teacher, I have to give her all the thanks for conducting this project. These are my citations for my research and everything like that. Thank you all very much.